We are here. We got my guy Miguel Tomley on the line here, and if you don't already know, that Miguel was just a killer in high school. He's one of the best players that's ever come out of BC, in my opinion. And I'm just happy to have you on the line. Thanks for your time, bro. How you been?
No, I've been good, bro. How you been?
All good, man. Just holding it down here. What's the situation there? You said you're in a hotel. Can you tell me a little bit about what's going on over there?
Yeah, our county, it got shut down, and so we're not allowed to practice or play there. So we got to move to the next open county, and that was Santa Cruz. So right now we're playing in the Warriors G League facility. So we play there, practice there. So it hasn't been too bad, but we just stuck in a hotel.
Have you guys been playing games and stuff?
Yeah, we've been playing. We've only missed a couple games because some other teams have had COVID, and so that's been pretty crappy. But I mean, we've been getting in our games and been practicing and everything. So we've been good actually.
And how have you felt about your performance and playing at this level and stuff like that?
I think I've been good so far. I mean, last year I didn't play, and so this is technically my first actual college year,
Yeah,
basketball wise, and I feel like I played well so far. And obviously coming off an injury, that's not always the easiest. But no, I've been given opportunities, and I feel like I've excelled in those opportunities, and
yeah,
I'm continuing just to get better.
yeah, for sure. And what were you out with, and how long were you out?
I sprained my MCL a week before our first game last year, and so I was out for I want to say 4 months, but I took my time with it because I figured I was going to redshirt and I didn't want it to come back. Nothing. It was my knee, so knee's obviously pretty serious. So I didn't want anything to affect it, and so I just took my time with it, and yeah.
Got you. Okay, well, we're gonna go into one thing. The first time I saw you play, I believe, was I think you were playing. When you played in the provincial final, was that in grade 10?
Yeah, grade 10.
You were in grade 10, yeah. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to get into some of this video stuff. I'm just going to show a quick clip from this grade 10 game because I was actually there filming the provincial final against Kelowna, and you were kind of leading the charge with your team. Like you guys were, I mean, Kelowna had a pretty stacked squad, and you were in grade 10 kind of leading the way, I felt like, for your team. So that was I saw that I kind of knew you were special at that point, but can you talk a little bit about in grade 10 how that season was and stuff like that, how this game was?
I feel like my grade 10 season, from what I remember, I feel like we were actually really good. I think we were top. I think we were top 3 in the province preseason, and we stood there for the whole time. Obviously, Kelowna was really good, and I think they kept number 1 the entire time. But we were up in there, and I think grade 10 was grade 9, 10 is kind of when I had my kind of breakout seasons. Obviously, grade 9, I feel like grade 9 was more my individual breakout season because I don't feel like we didn't do very well. But my grade 10 season was also, I feel like, another individual breakout season. But as for people saying, you don't win, whatever, I feel like this season showed that, even because I was, like you said, I was grade 10, so I was 15, 16. Yeah. It showed that, obviously I could win at the senior level as well. And we had a good team. I remember that was me, Sagar Dule, Gurman Bangu. There were a lot of good guys on that team. So grade 10 was a good year, though.
Did you play up in grade 9?
Yeah, I played senior in grade 9, yeah.
Wow, crazy. Yeah, this is, let's turn this shit down. This is just a steal off a pass here, just wide open. You kind of had you've been a shooter since as long as I can remember. How long do you feel how long ago, I guess, did you feel like you're a shooter? That's kind of your niche, your bread.
Probably, I mean, I think I've been a shooter kind of all my life. That was kind of when I first kind of started playing basketball.
Yeah.
And they had obviously the 3-point line. That was the first thing I loved to do, shoot threes. So I was doing that pretty young. Obviously I could hit him, so I kept shooting him, and I started in grade 4. So I mean,
Yeah.
little grade 4 Miguel shooting threes that continued on all the way till now, and so I feel like I've just been a shooter kind of all my life, or at least playing basketball.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. This play right here, you're like, you had that hezzy game too. Like, this is the same stuff I've been seeing you do since grade 10. You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of like freeze people with the hesitations.
Yeah.
What do you call this? Like, do you have like a name for it? Like, is it just your hezzy package, or do you call it anything else?
No, I never called it anything. I mean, that's just kind of something that kind of grew into my game. I feel like that really started when I joined Drive.
Yeah,
'Cause when I first came to Drive, they obviously I was good, but they preached to me that I needed to have more. It was almost like I had to have more swag in my game because we all knew that I was good at a young age, but
yeah,
they wanted to add that kind of little bit of swagger to it. So I mean, I worked with the coaches a lot on kind of the hezzies, just kind of the flares type stuff to your game.
yeah,
And so I got into grade 9, 10, and I mean to this day, hezzies and everything have been a big part of my game. And that
yeah,
it's also like it's a good way to get open, freeze people, good way to
yeah,
score. So I mean, as much as it's like cool to look at, it's
yeah,
also effective.
yeah, no doubt, for sure. We're gonna show this one here. It's kind of hezzy, and then you go and just hit a floater, and we are gonna get out of the grade 10 year. We're gonna go share this the real mix, the fire one. This one got 30 something thousand views right now. Was filming you for a long time, but then I started working for BC Sports Hub um,
Yeah.
before we dropped it. So that's kind of where we're at now. Let me just see here if we got the sound.
And I'm just like everyone else.
Can you hear this?
I'm no one special as much as
So that line right
that's what
there,
may make me seem like I'm special. I'm just like everyone else.
just like everyone else. Like, I feel like there was some people commenting about that and stuff on the IG and stuff. Did people like give you a hard time about that line in the mixtape, or did anyone comment about it to you?
No, I mean, a lot of people told me that was it was like a cool way to start it. I mean,
Yeah,
I didn't have no one give me a hard. I don't think anyone would have gave me a hard time about it anyways. But I mean, no, I thought it was cool. Everyone else that I know thought it was cool. So
yeah.
I didn't have no one say anything.
How did you react when you first watched this?
Uh, well, to be honest, it wasn't even my reaction at first. I was asleep when the mixtape came out. It was like early in the morning. I was asleep, and I went upstairs. And my mom, she was kind of like, "Did you see your mixtape?" And I was like, "Mixtape? Like, we talking about?" And then she's like, she pulled it up, put it on TV, and when I saw it, I was like, "Damn, this shit fire."
That's what's up. That's awesome. Here we go. Girl
And I'm just like everyone else.
So whose baby is that?
That's my sister.
That's your sister. How old is she now?
She's turning 4 in January,
Damn, bro.
so she's still living. Yeah.
So how long have you been like away from the fam and stuff like that? As far as like just being away for basketball.
I mean, I've been away from my family for a long time, to be honest, because I left to go to school early. I went to prep school when I was in grade 11, and then
Right.
I ended up coming back. And then obviously towards my end of my grade 11 year, came back home, and then I played my grade 12 year at home. And then I went back to prep school for my post grad year, and then college. So I've been away from home for like pretty early. So
Yeah.
it's been something I've been pretty used to now.
Tell me a little bit about that grade 11 year. Like, what was the decision like just to go, I guess? Like, what made you decide to go, and what made you decide to come back?
Well, obviously, I mean, I thought, BC's got a lot of talent coming up for sure. And there's a lot of good guys that, have come out of BC and done well at the next level. But I felt it was almost as if, I wasn't doing myself a favor by continuing to play, high school basketball there, especially because through AAU, I was kind of I started to get, more offers, more looks from all these other schools.
Yeah.
And, a lot of them wanted to see me play, against guys that, were 5 stars, 4
Yeah.
stars, in high schools that were ranked, on TV type stuff. And so, I actually decided that, I wanted to go to prep school. And so I ended up going to Orangeville, where I spent almost pretty much the full season over there. And then it was kind of a tough time because it was also my first time away from home.
Yeah.
And anyone that knows me knows that me and my mom are really, really close. And so my mom ended up having my sister while I was away at prep school.
Yeah.
And when I went there on a scholarship, but it was still it was financially it was tough to keep me there because there's a lot of other things that go into going to prep school. You can get it free, but there's still, you're a high school kid, you still got other things that you need to pay for. And so I was more concerned on helping my mom out rather than continuing to stay there. And I thought, throughout the beginning of that season that I played, I proved myself. Like there was no one could say anything, about how you need to go and play, competition better because I proved myself.
Yeah.
And so, it was a family decision. A lot of people, obviously didn't like it and, want to say that I was soft or whatever. But at the end of the day, they're not living the life that I had to live.
Yeah.
And, obviously, like I said, me and my mom are super close. Me and my sister are really close. Me and my brother are really close. So, I have to take care of my family, just like they take care of me.
No doubt. And yeah, you can't like listen to anyone else really. You gotta do what's right for you during those decisions. Obviously as a 15, 16-year-old, it's different because you're still like a young, teenager or whatever, but those are big like grown man decisions you're making as well.
Yeah, sure.
So then you come back and obviously grade 12 was a big year for you. I think was there some I guess were you unsure if you could play that season and stuff like that?
No, I knew I was going to play because honestly, I thought when I came back from prep school, I was supposed to play. And, I'm not going to go into details about all that because, it's done, whatever's done, it is what it is. But, I thought, and so did everyone else, thought that I should have been playing when I came back the first time. But their whole thing was that I wasn't going to play that year, but I was going to be able to play right away in my grade 12 year. So,
right. So you had to sit out the end of the grade 11 year. Yeah. Right. I remember that. I remember seeing that. But it all worked itself out. We're gonna get to some of this stuff here. You had that in your game. When did you start dunking?
I had little baby dunks in the beginning. I think I had my first dunk when I was in grade 7 or 8. And then, but anyone that knows me knows that I'm not crazy athletic like that. So I can get up, but nothing crazy.
Yeah. Did you work on that? Did you start working on your vert at some point?
No, that's just kind of something that came. The more you try, the closer you get every time. So, I was trying early, and I ended up being decently tall, so that helped. But no, I never really worked on it like that. It's kind of just natural.
And here's like another like that hezzy cross, just kind of losing.
That was my go-to.
Yeah, that hezzy was definitely like you were getting people a lot with that. There's nothing they can do with it because you can just pull up, and they have to guard your shot, and then you just have so many options out of it. So when this is like I kind of compiled a couple clips here, but like, did you hear them saying overrated at this point? Because you have this is a game, this is actual clip where you get the ball and stuff like that. Was that like, were you processing this at all, or was it just like noise you weren't really paying attention to?
No, I didn't even hear it, to be honest with you. It kind of just like I didn't even know that this was happening until I think a video of the Fraser Valley like this game came out.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they were attending it, and
Yeah.
it's crazy because I mean I won't ever hear like anyone else kind of say something, but if it's like my mom in the crowd, I always hear her every
Yeah.
time. It's crazy
Yeah.
the way things work.
Yeah.
But it was funny because me and the guy, two people that are about to guard me right now, Sook and Crab, me and them are actually like we're real tight.
Yeah.
And I'm friends with a lot of people that go to like Rick Hansen, Moe, like the Abbey kind of kids.
Yeah.
And so I'm friends with Sookie's brother too, and he was in the sprint, and I think he's the one that started that. But me and him are super tight. So when it came out, I didn't feel no way about it. Obviously, I wouldn't really care. I think that's a compliment to me, if anything. But yeah, no, I remember this. That was legit.
Yeah, it's pretty cold because like I wasn't sure if you actually like would have noticed like or wanted to shut them up or anything like that but like it was literally like as they were chanting like there's no like faking it. You just kind of I think it was the end of the shot clock. You have to shoot it and you hit the shot and you kind of quiet the crowd down a bit. And then the other thing about that was funny was like I remember when we came to your house to do that interview, I saw a shirt. I need to know more about this shirt. It said overrated, like hashtag overrated question mark or something. What's up with the shirt, man? Was that like something that people made? Did you make some for your sister or what?
No, so when the video first came out, my mom saw it, and my mom she wanted to have like she wanted my family to have like T-shirts and everything. So mom wore my jersey obviously, but I don't have enough jerseys for everyone.
Yeah.
You feel me? So they were like, mom's super creative, and so she was thinking about it, and obviously my jersey wouldn't fit my sister, so she's like, I'm gonna take the overrated chant and I'm gonna put it on a shirt.
That's
because that seemed to be like where everyone was kind of. It was like when that kind of happened. That was like a big thing. I remember I posted a picture on Instagram right after we won.
Yeah,
like
I remember that.
The caption was overrated too.
Yeah.
And but my mom does the most sometimes. But she took that and she put it on a shirt. I think she actually wore one. My sister wore one. I want to say my brother wore one. I think my grandma had one. Like there were a lot of people that had them. And so that was kind of the thing going into the winters.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I might need one of those.
I got you.
Yeah, I remember seeing that you posted that on IG. I was pretty hyped about that as well. This is the announcer says something. And then I kind of did your boy dirty because I made mixtapes for Sook as well. This clip, I'm not going to lie. This shot, you missed it, but I clipped it with another clip. And that's another clip. It looks just like you dropped him and hit the shot. Like I'm gonna let Sook off the hook here because you dropped him clean, and then I clipped another shot where you hit it. You know what I'm saying? Did you notice that?
I did notice it because I know I didn't hit it. So I was laughing at him after that happened, but he was saying I didn't hit the shot, so it didn't count. Yeah. So I said, all right, fair enough.
So like,
that's not the mixtape.
So you remembered like that you had missed the shot?
No, I did because we talked about it. Right, like I said, me and him are like we're close. So when that video, it was when the video came out, we were talking about it because he seemed to be the victim of a lot of the stuff that happened in that video. But
just wrong place at the wrong time.
No, Sook's my boy though, and he's cold too. So I mean, we were joking about it, and so it wasn't. He knew, like I knew I missed it, and I wasn't.
Did he say that? Like, do you guys talk during the game, like as it was happening? Like, did he run back down and it's like, oh, it doesn't count, you missed it, or anything like that?
No, I don't remember. No, I don't think he said anything during the game, or at least not that I remember. I mean, that was a while ago too, but it was more so afterwards because when I go to Abby, because I hang out with them all the time, so I go to Abby, and some of the guys that go to Rick Hansen that didn't play in the game, they'll be bringing up the footage and they'll put it on TV while we're all chilling in the living room, and we'll just talk shit to each other about it. But no, he would always he said that shot didn't go in. I remember talking about it, and I was like, yeah, it did.
Yeah, but that's my boy. he was one of the first guys I think I made a mix for. So shout out to Seth.
No,
You're dropping another guy. I caught a few of your ankle breakers, but I feel like there was quite a few that I'm sure I missed throughout the season. This one's cold, bro. That's crazy, bro.
no, step back.
Yeah, this like some of these shots you hit, bro, are just nuts. And you're hitting him with like this is kind of why I wanted to do this whole segment, is just kind of breaking down the footage and like really talking about these moves that you know, you guys are doing. Like, do you watch James Harden? Are you working on this like this exact? It's kind of that extra step back. You know what I mean? To create a little extra space. Like, I guess like where did you get that? Do you like kind of study certain players and try to steal stuff from them?
No, I definitely study players, but a lot. I mean, I think I'm a little different in a sense because I don't like I take some of the moves that they have, but I kind of change it in a way that it like works for me because a lot of things that some players do, you know, like the moves and stuff won't work for certain guys. Like, and that's just the reality of it because I mean, some guys aren't 6'7", 6'6", you know what I'm saying, that can get shots off that, you know, guys like Jason Tatum can get off. Or, you know, some guys just can't move the way that, you know, James Harden or Curry move. So I just kind of, I'll take what they do, look at it, see if I can kind of, you know, do the same thing. But at the same time, I got to think about realistically, am I quick enough to do that move? Am I tall enough to get the shot off? Especially now at this like college level, you can't just kind of, you know, pull just random things and hope it's going to work. And I got to make it work for you. So I take a lot of what people have in their game, a lot of NBA players, but then I kind of just change it in a way that will work for me. So the step back worked a lot.
Who was like your I guess main guys you watched growing up? Was there anyone that like stands out?
Growing up, I wouldn't say. I say like I started taking film seriously when I got kind of, I think it was my first year when I went to prep school because that's when I started actually watching film. But throughout high school, like what you see in grade 10, all that, that was more so like just me kind of just making shit up, like just kind of just. I mean, and I learned a lot of it, like I said, through Drive, because you know Pasha, Karn, Luch. I mean, they've coached guys that, you know, like I said, gone D1, whatnot. So they've kind of been around. They've seen guys that are nice, and so they kind of gave me a lot, like the snatches, the pullbacks, the behind the back, all this kind of stuff. And that's kind of just, I mean, I just learned that through them and just practicing all the time. But when I got into, when I went to prep school, started learning about film, that's when I kind of started studying how people move and, you know, the type of shots that people take, how they take it, the footwork, everything like that. Like I said, just make it work for me.
Yeah, no doubt. That was a crazy game, dude. Lost him here on the pull-out. Yeah, again, it's like, because honestly, I've been training for a while now, and like I teach people this stuff a lot. I actually talk about you when I do sometimes, and just about like that hezzy package. Like we work on just like the footwork of it and how to like kind of get into it. But if you look at like the footwork here, you're planting left right on that cross like you always do. It's like that Iverson cross, you know what I mean? And then you could do it again, right? Where it's like you could also do it back to the right side with the footwork, but it's like that hezzy pull, which is like I talk about like Kevin Durant's like hezzy pull, right?
Right.
So you're like, you know what I mean? Like you're combining like this hezzy cross, and then you're into the hezzy pull.
Yeah, no, and that came from actually, because I started doing that early, but I learned that like I said through Drive. But it was always, you always have to have like a counter out of it. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so the cross really got people, but you know, sometimes like if the ball kind of slips out your hand type and you can't get the jumper off or whatever, you always gotta have, you know, a counter to it. And so then you see a lot of people, at least in high school, I'd always hit them with the like the hezzy, like I was about to shoot it, and then another cross right back over, and people always jump. So that's
Yeah.
where that was like one of my signatures
Yeah.
in high school.
How did like when when I got the chance to play in the pro-am, we ended up playing on the same team for a game. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember much about that game, because like to me, the way you played, I was like, this guy's just, it seems like you must just be in the gym all the time. Like for me personally, I like train, you know, if I'm going to play a game, I don't play that many games anymore, but like if I'm going to, I'm going to train, you know, leading up to that game or whatever. And when I used to be in the gym a lot more, it's like the feel for my shot felt better, stuff like that. I just had more confidence all the time. For you, it was like, man, you're hitting, like, it's one thing for me because I watched you all grade 12 to kind of watch it or film it or whatever, and you're like, damn, that's a
Yeah.
pretty tough shot. But then to be on the court with you and see you hitting some of those shots, I don't know if you remember that game, but I think you must have had like 30 in the first half. Like they weren't really uh, able to stop you. And then the second half, they were double, triple teaming you and really
Yeah.
like trying to like mess with your game. What
I
were
mean,
you gonna
yeah,
say?
I kind of remember that. I kind of remember that game a little bit, but I only played a couple games in the pro am, but no, I kind of remember that game.
But like, I guess what my question would be like, um, is that just what it was like? Were you in the gym all the time, like working on just getting your shots up, working on your game? Was that like kind of, you know what I mean? Like at that point, I think it was after your grade 12 season, maybe the summer after or something like that. Were you were you in the gym all the time? And can you tell me a little bit about like your kind of regimen?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think being in the gym that's been something that I've kind of always had. Like that's as a young like at a young age. Um, the thing for me was, I was really self-driven, like to the point where I didn't need no one to kind of tell me that, you got to go to the gym or you got to do this or you got to do that. Like a lot of athletes, a lot of people that I know, especially with the people that I played, it's in Orangeville, and some of my teammates here, they have a lot of parents that kind of enforce it on them to the point where it almost makes a kid not want to, play
Yeah,
basketball, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I feel like I was fortunate enough to have my mom who encouraged me, but she never made it something that I had to do.
yeah,
It was more so you want to do it, you want to go places with basketball, you want to do something with basketball, it's all gonna be, within yourself. And so at a
yeah,
young age, um, I was always in the gym, and I was fortunate enough to have people that were older than me that you know kind of guided me through workouts,
yeah,
through all my different types of training, and they took me out and play. I was playing in men's league when I was in like fifth grade,
yeah,
so I mean that kind of came from that. A lot of my confidence wise because I got to. I mean, obviously, when in fifth grade, I wasn't, doing anything in the men's league. But when I got to, seventh grade, I was, competing with guys that, were ex-college players and, played
yeah,
pro and did all this. And I was holding my own. And that's, 12-year-old Miguel. And so
yeah,
obviously, when you go playing against talent that's better, or maybe not even, talent-wise, but just older guys, you kind of build up that confidence to, do the
yeah,
things that you see in mixtapes and whatnot. And
yeah,
so it came a lot from that, playing against older guys, training with guys that are, better than me at a young age. And, at the end of the day, I got my ass whooped when I was young. And I kind of, built that, fire in me to, when I get on court. That's why a lot of people that play with me, they think that I'm an asshole. That's
yeah,
just the reality of it. And I've accepted that. But at the end of the day, that's just me not wanting to, lose and whatnot. And
yeah,
it's kind of the fire that's been built because when I was young, I was the one getting yelled at by older guys
yeah,
because, what I'm saying, I may have been the reason that I know we were losing. So,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure. I saw a video of you training. I think you're like 10 or something, and there's guys like hitting you, and you're just doing some ball handling routine and stuff like that. Like, what age did you
Yeah.
start? Like, how old were you when you started, like, being like, okay, let me start like really training and stuff?
It was young. It was young, definitely, because I started really taking basketball serious when I was in grade 4,
Yeah,
and that's when people kind of saw that my potential was there.
Yeah.
I was just really young. And so in grade 5, I got put on a B team, and I didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
I did not want to be on the B team. So then I kind of started taking training to another level almost, but it started with me kind of just doing it by myself. Because at that age, I mean, I didn't have anyone kind of want to work out with me like I do now.
Yeah.
And so I had to kind of, I took, drills that I saw NBA players do or drills that I saw pro trainers do. And kind of I did them by myself. But like I said, those drills only work if you're self-driven and you're willing to do them to, the maximum potential. And so I was doing that outside. I mean, you could ask my mom. My mom would tell you I'd be outside after school till 8 o'clock every day.
Yeah.
And it would just be the same drills on this hoop I remember it was hoop that was like 9 feet. Like it wasn't even the regular size hoop. But I mean, I had to work with what I got, right? And so
I think I saw that hoop.
Yeah. So I kind of did that by myself.
When you got as you got older and stuff, were you like the regimen probably changed? Maybe you had trainers and stuff, but what was like the normal day for you? Let's say when you were in high school, like would you go to the gym before school, or was it like after school, or both, or like what was kind of the routine?
Mine kind of changed, like it varied. I can't tell you I was one of the guys that had like a set kind of day. Like I went to the gym in the mornings. I went to I was in the gym all the time, but I may have not gone some mornings. I may have gone some mornings. It kind of just depended on what the day was going to look like. But I'd say I was in the gym after school. I was in the gym all the time, like because I was lucky enough to have an athletic director that stayed. Me and I don't know if you know him, Baines. He's at the end of the video, but me and him were really really tight, and he always had the gym open for me after school till we had practices, and practices would go till 10 o'clock. So I'd be in the gym working out. He'd always rebound for me. So I'd say, I mean, anytime from after school to practice end, I'd be at the Tomatoes working out or lifting, because he always lifted with me too. So, but I didn't really have no really training regimen. Like I just kind of was in the gym and I was in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have that schedule.
No, I mean, I feel like it's one of those things that's one of the things I respected a lot about you is like you weren't like flossed. You weren't trying to like show off anything. Like, you know what I mean? You weren't like, oh, I'm here like working on my game, blah blah blah, like on IG or anything like that. It's just like obvious. Like if you watch you play, it's obvious that you've been putting in work around the clock. So I definitely feel that. How was your defense this year? Like were there, I don't know, like blocks and steals, stuff like that, grade 12 year? Because like I got a few nice blocks, but like was that something you thought about a lot? And is it like or is it a lot of those like crazy chase down blocks? Those are the ones I caught in here.
In grade 12 or now?
Grade 12.
In grade 12, there was a lot more blocks. But I mean, I played, like my defense is, obviously you get to college, your defense got to improve. But in high school, I ain't gonna lie, my defense wasn't all that. But that's because I feel like it's because I had the ball 24/7 on offense. So I was, I had to save my energy in other places. But no, I'm playing. But
that's the James Harden.
I played defense, and it was just, there were times that it looked like I didn't. But no, in grade 12, I mean, I think grade 12 was a big year that I was working on my defense like a lot, because I know in grade 10 and 11, grade 11 is actually where I kind of got the hint that you need to start playing defense, probably when I went to Orangeville, because you're playing against guys that are like legit, and you don't want to be the person to hold your team back. So I feel like playing against those guys and then coming back, and obviously through AAU, playing against really good guys, and I have to be on a really good team.
Would you go on runs? What would you do for your cardio? Like you're in the game fucking the whole game, going crazy on offense the whole game. Like how did you not get tired?
I was kind of just like I said, like being in the gym for hours, because I mean your stamina builds up then. But a big thing that I started doing was going for runs, especially when Corona hit because gyms weren't open and everything.
Yeah.
So I started going for runs a lot. But I say in high school it was just kind of natural because I was, like I said, I was in the gym a lot. So that just kind of built my cardio up.
Because like I'll tell you one thing. When I went to this game, this was just like a random game, but I saw Johnny Blaze. I think he's your guy, and I was like, I've known him for a bit, but he was we were kind of like watching you and talking or whatever, and he was saying how you've been going for runs every morning, and like I didn't know that or anything, but Johnny was like, yeah, Miguel's like ready, man. He's been going for these runs every morning.
I remember that actually because it was funny because he was coming to school, I think, one day, and he saw me running. It was like 5:30 in the morning.
That's what's up. Yeah.
He saw me, and he drove past me. He's like, Miggy, and I look over. I'm like, oh, what up? But no, me and Johnny are close. But I mean, I went for runs. Like I did stuff to keep myself in shape, but I wouldn't say I was running every day type stuff. But I did go for runs, especially if there were times like, you know, I had a lot of energy, let's just say. And I wasn't the early morning person, so
yeah.
But I like to sometimes, you know, especially like I said, if I had a lot of energy that day or whatever, I woke up with a lot of energy, I go for a run, just kind of like Thanks.
Because this was the first game of the season actually. Now that I remember it, but
Miguel driving, little runner off the window, stylish swoop there by Tomley.
The same step back, that little hardened step back. We had crazy crowds, man, pre-COVID. Here's another one. Let's go. There we go. Did you feel like because like, yeah, a lot of your passes are nice because you're doing, like, when you're doing your hezzies and stuff, it's like your head's still up, like you're seeing the floor, and when you're driving, you're seeing the floor. I think, like, is that something you've been working on, like just kind of keeping your head up as you do your ball handling drills, or as you like do your stuff?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, at a young age, you've been taught to always keep your head up when you dribble and everything. So I kind of kept that going, and everything that I do, you always gotta look at the basket. And you know, as I got older, people kind of just saw me as more so like a scorer. So I kind of, obviously, I think my scoring in high school obviously overshadowed everything else that I kind of did was in my game, because that was such a big part of my game. But at the same time, my passing definitely, I mean, I worked on that like all the time. And I always got told, you know, I needed to continue to improve my passing all the time. But it's just in high school, it was just like, I don't want to say it was effortless, but it was easier to score in high school, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, not that I didn't have to pass, but at the same time, I knew I could score like when I wanted to. So people are open, obviously I'm giving to them. And obviously because, you know, doubles and triples came, there's people that are open. And at that point, it's just about making the right read. So that came from, you know, keeping my head up and everything, working on that. And just working on passing. It's crazy because you actually got to work on passing in order to be a good passer. Like you can't just take that lightly. You got to work on your passes as much as you're gonna work on your shooting.
Is that something you're doing now? Like, do they have you playing one or playing the two?
They got me playing both. I play the one and two, but more so the one. Yeah. And so, and at the college level, you gotta. I mean, it's not often you hear people scoring 30 like that.
Yeah.
You know? So you got to find ways to, you know, show that you're more of an all-around player rather than just scoring. Yeah. And so, especially for me, because I'm shorter, you know, the NCAA. So it's like you got to find other ways to you know, like I said, show your game and what you're capable of. Yeah. So passing is something big that I worked on.
No doubt. This is crazy. This is just like. Man, we're gonna talk about this game in a sec, but you split the double with the behind the back, and your floaters, like, is that another big part of your shooting routine? Like, are you always doing a lot of floaters? Or?
big in my game. Because floaters, especially now, the floaters are like I'm smaller. And you're playing against guys with 7 feet on a regular basis. So it's not like I can just go and do a layup.
Yeah.
So I knew that at an early age. Even through AAU, when you go play in the U.S. with drive and everything. Kids at 15 years old were 6'10". So it's like at the end of the day, are you always gonna be able to get to the rim? Probably not. So floaters were big, and one of my like really close friends, James, his floater is on a different level. So I took a lot from him and his floater because he's had a floater ever since he was little. I first started playing basketball because.
How did he get so nice with it? Do you think?
That's just something that he's worked on all his life.
Yeah.
Like that's that's been his go-to ever since he was younger. Because I mean, for me, I was taller when I was younger. Like I was like 6 foot when I was in grade 7. So I was big. But then obviously I didn't grow very much more after that, and people started to pass that, right? So it's like
even in grade 12, like you're against BC high school players, you're like, tall enough to do different things. Woods is kind of a little shorter, I'd say.
Right.
This step back going right's tough. This game you had, I think I show a bunch of clips from this game. It's another step back going right. So how was the feel? Like this was your final high school game. Obviously, things didn't go as you had hoped the game before, but how were you feeling before this game? Like you went off, like was there anything like did you feel good like that game? Were you feeling feeling any certain type of way?
I remember I was pissed because we lost, obviously, and that was my last year. So and we lost. I think we lost in the semifinals. So it was it wasn't. I was pissed because we lost. And I remember it was actually I went home that day, and then I knew that we had an early game. This was an early game. It was like 11 or 12, and my mom, she had said, what did she say? She had said something about how, like, you got to go out and you got to score, like, 60 points or something like that. Like, she had said you had to score, like, a certain amount of points. Because she's like, otherwise people are just going to look at you and be like, you know what I'm saying, not gonna say anything about you. So I'm like, okay. And, I mean, it was my last high school game. And the good thing about going to Tamanos was they even did this for Sukjo when he was in his senior year, is they kind of – because I think Sukjo lost in the semis or quarters or something like that. They let him kind of just go off after that. And Mike McKay kind of knew the deal. So I remember I texted Mike, and I'm like, I'm gonna have at least 50 this game. And I was like, he's like, go for it. And that was a good thing about Mike. And like I said, I was a senior, so he kind of
Mike was your coach.
Mike was a coach, yeah. So he kind of said, you know what? I mean, it's your last game, and the rest of these guys were all coming back next year. So he's like, go do what you need to do. And the other thing that was still on the table was we obviously weren't going to win, but I was like up there winning. It was like, see if you can win the MVP. Because if we weren't going to win the finals, then see if you can win the MVP. That was another thing I was trying to go for. And I knew that if I had at least 50, 60, I mean, I was going to break some type of record. But I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, it wasn't MVP. But no, this game, a lot of people were at. And
but you got yourself.
That was a big game.
I think you got yourself to the all-time provincial scoring leader.
Yeah, something like that.
Like throughout the 4 games or whatever with that 66 piece.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, it was like, man, every 3 seems to be going in.
Everything.
I don't know if you know. Do you remember how many 3s you had? This is hilarious.
It was like 16.
Dang.
Yeah, 16 threes.
That's good. And these last few are just like one after another. And then this is pretty funny. Let me try to move this. Who's this guy talking to you right now?
Couldn't even tell you.
He says, he said, Miguel, can you shoot it? And then you're like, I will, don't worry.
Yeah. That was funny. I remember that.
That was like the very next play. You caught it a little bit over half court. Do you know this kid?
No, I didn't know. No idea who he was. Sorry. No, I remember that was funny because I went over there and was tying my shoe, and there was a whole group of them,
Yeah.
and then he was the one who asked me to shoot it. So I was like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah. He was so hyped, bro. This is that hezzy. You're doing this hezzy stuff like at half, the same footwork, like 1-2, 1-2, and then right into the jumper. And I mean, this is like right at the logo. This shot was crazy. And then these guys, these guys right here. You see them in the top left there?
Yeah,
You can really see them, but they were
Yeah.
going nuts. Man.
yeah, that was funny.
Yes.
I think that was when I got stepped out. After that shot.
Yeah. Did you want to keep going?
I think we
At that
still
point?
had like 3 minutes, 2 minutes,
Yeah.
something like that. So I think I could have definitely
Wow.
got 70.
That's true. That's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you
No,
could
I'm
have.
playing. It was because
I
the other
think-
guys get in too.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't realize there was that much time left, but I came in the gym literally. I hadn't seen the first half of the game or what. I just came in right before you hit that shot where the guy's like, can you shoot it or whatever? And
Yeah.
I didn't know you actually had that much time left. That's good.
No, there was still a few minutes on there, but I wasn't really tripping.
Yeah, you could have had a little more, but I mean, that's a nice way to end your high school career. I feel like you ended on that shot. Your coach probably wanted to kind of give you the props as well, and like have the crowd and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Let you go in a second here. I guess you've had a pretty like you've had an amazing high school career as far as we can tell, from the outside looking in. And now you're playing Division One, and it seems like everything's kind of, going the right way for you and all that. But then on the other hand, you're saying like, you had a year where you didn't, you got injured, and then you had a year where like I don't know, went to prep school, had to come back, and you also went to prep another year after high school. So you've had 2 years after high school where you basically weren't able, or not playing D1 until now. You're finally getting that opportunity that you've been kind of hoping for. But like, can you just talk about, was there ever a time when like you were like, fuck man, I don't know if I can keep doing this, or like, clearly you've gone through some adversity in your career. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. There's never been really a time for me that was like kind of I ever put my head down and was like, yeah, like this isn't for me, because I put way too much, and my family's put way too much into me playing basketball and to getting me where, I want to be, to kind of ever let, things phase me. And at the end of the day, I mean, every player is going to go through something. And whether that be injuries, whether that be, whatever, people are going to go through things. And at the end of the day, if you don't, I mean, that's not going to build your character in any way. And I feel like for me specifically, the things that I went through and, the adversity that I went through all kind of built like the type of player that I am today, and who I am, not only as a player, but as a person as well. Because I mean, as much as you want to talk about, adversity in basketball, it's going to be adversity in life. And so if you're just dealing with it through basketball, it's an easy way to kind of, put yourself in these situations, and, it's when it translated over to life, and, how to approach it in life as well. So I've never had that. And like I said, my family's really, they're all really in my corner. And that's the biggest thing for me. And so through all the ups and downs, and like, even kind of growing up, I was raised pretty much by my mom solely. So it was kind of like, I had to witness kind of what she went through, and she had me really young. So she went through a lot. And I feel like that also kind of goes into who I am as a person, the type of character that I have, and, how I go about things, for sure. Seeing what she went through, because she went through crazy amount of adversity at a young age and just managed to, do well in life. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I got to kind of follow the same footsteps and then they make her proud.
Yeah. No, that's dope, man. That's a really good perspective. And to see that it's like bigger than basketball, like, you go through adversity in basketball, but it's like you've seen your mom go through it in real life and, everyone else. And that's going to serve you as like building your mental toughness and all that for
Exactly.
sure. So that's good. You have that perspective, bro. Last question I'll say is like, do you have a favorite hoop memory, like a basketball memory, as far as so far?
Favorite hoop memory. That's crazy. I got a lot of memories of basketball, but I want to say my favorite hoop memory was playing. It was funny because I was U15 and we played. This was the first celebrity that ever came to our game, and we were U15 and I was playing with Drive, so it was like me, James, and we were actually really, really good. And we went to Las Vegas and we got put in the Platinum division, and so the Platinum division with all the EYBL teams, we were the only non-Nike team that was in the top, and it was like only 4 teams. It was us, Utah Basketball Club, Mean Streets, they're from Chicago, and Team CP3. And CP3 was ranked the #1 team in the nation for our age at that point. And so we played them, and it was our last game. And my grandma, my mom didn't actually come to Vegas, but it was my grandma. And we were playing CP3, and Chris Paul was at the game, and he was sitting in the stands with Harry Giles. This is when Harry Giles was in high school still. I think he was 15. And he was standing right next to my grandma. And I had like 30 on CP3, and I had one shot. I don't remember exactly what the shot was, but I hit a shot, and CP3 said I don't think he knew who my grandma was or nothing, and said something to my grandma about how cold I was or something like that. And my grandma, obviously being as proud as she is, whatever, that's my grandson. And so that was probably my favorite one because that was the first celebrity to ever be like, or NBA player to be like, yeah, he's cold. And so I'd say that would probably be my legit favorite memory.
No, that's dope, bro. That's dope. And to get that respect from someone like Chris Paul is crazy, bro. That's
Exactly. So that was big time.
Oh man, thanks. I appreciate you sharing with me and getting on here, and I wish you all the best, bro. Like I know you have big dreams, big goals, and they're coming closer and closer. So I just, I'm always in your corner, man. And I know the basketball community here is as well. We're cheering you on from afar, bro. So yeah, keep up the good work, my guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for tuning in. That went quite a bit longer than I expected, but it was nice to get to hear the words from Miguel, and he's a big name in BC basketball, and he's really doing it in the States on the D1 level. Guess this is the end of the episode. Shout out to Miguel Tomley for hopping on, and I will see you next time. Peace.